Hey, good morning. Good Sunday morning. This is Jeffrey Paul again with Inspirational and a lesson today. It's Sunday, and we started yesterday with the power of review. Remember? The power of review. I hope you were with us because it really tapped into a lot of people's interest and inspiration. But here's what it was related to so that you're up on par in case you weren't with us yesterday. We talked about the importance of not just doing a planner, a calendar, a life plan, or whatever it might be, but really reviewing it because it gives the power. Like when we were kids and we would test out on spelling words, we would review and review and review until we get an A. I hope all of you got an A. I can't say that I always got an A, but I tried. And the more that I would review those words, they would come back to my memory, and my memory would give me the answer when it was time to go on the test. Well, life is that way. Isn't it amazing how the little things we do as young as elementary school is really elementary principles of today? And I related to the fact that if you review and review and review, what does it mean? Well, let's say that you have a nagging thought. And I shared this about the ants, remember? The antagonizing thoughts. The thoughts that are starting to probe your mind one day when you get up and you feel like the same old, it's never going to change. That one thought begins to rob and take away all of the words of life, hope, and success, such as, it's going to be a great day today. It's going to be the best day ever. Imagine the difference between that. So I shared with you the principle of journaling yesterday and how important it was to help you review the words, the plans, the hopes, the desires, the words of your great coach within you, the teacher, the inspiration of the Spirit of God within you that is teaching you, reminding you of the real things, the real spelling bee that is inside you. What does that mean? Well, let me break it down for you, okay? You've heard me talk about journaling, and I, of course, with my wife Zena, have done journaling for a long time. And in fact, decades, and I have every day. In fact, I cleaned out my cabinet yesterday just to take out some of the previous ones because I got to move them into my library of history. But I always go over the previous year at least to see where I was the last year and see this year and where I'm at. Why? Why would I do that? To remember and to review where I was, celebrate where I have come from, identify the things that I need to do yet, and then focus on them so that I can truly begin to take those steps forward in my life. I say that to you because so often journaling helps illuminate your steps. It helps you be aware of and remind you of where you're going, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. It's truly a life planner. It really is. But it's a check and balance of the life planner. You can do your goal sheet. You do your goal sheet and you put your goals on, your desires, your wants, and then what? You put them away, right? You put them away, and they sit there, maybe on the shelf behind you, or even put a plaque together, and that's your list of goals. And maybe you glance at them once in a while. But the journal is the connection between the dots. It's the connection from the first step you take to the goal that you're going after. Where you fall down, that journal can share with you the relationship of getting up, never quitting. Because in a journal, the power of journaling, not diary, now hear me, not a diary. I've shared this for so many decades. It is not a diary that you just put down all your feelings. But as I shared yesterday, you put down where you're at, what you're feeling in the immediate now. Right now, you write down what you're feeling, what you're going through, what the issues are. Then, put your pen down and listen inside. Go within yourself. That's what meditation is. To process the thoughts within yourself that God is speaking to you about that situation right now. It doesn't have to be the whole thing of your life or even your whole day yesterday. Maybe just one episode where you were a little harsh with somebody, or you were a little scared, or you were fearful to make a move, or whatever it might be. But the truth of it is, you want to hear your illumination with no condemnation, Romans 8:1, because so often what happens in our journey from beginning to end is that we fall down, we forget, we stumble, we get off track. Have you been there? You sure you have? I have. We have tried to create a roadmap that gives us the ability to follow the map to the end of the journey, to the vacation, to the goal. Why I tell you that is because it's so powerful if you're journaling each and every day. And remember what I said in my practice yesterday of what I tell you to do that's very best suitable for using a journal and what I use every day. You write those feelings in the morning, you write them down, just take the now. What is up here? What is blocking you? What is keeping you stuck? Write it down. Start there. Can be any level of any situation. Write it down, then put the pen down. Listen within yourself. Listen within yourself. Hear that voice, that still quiet voice, and write down what it says about that situation, or what you need to be restored, or you need to be encouraged. Write down what you hear, because he will always give you that voice within you that will give you encouragement, strength, power. Here's a scripture that is so adamant for you to read today. Romans 7 and verse 8:1. From Romans 7, it says this, and that's why he repeats himself over and over again. Paul, who the writer is, he says, I do the things that I don't want to do when I know that I shouldn't do them. Then he repeats himself. But I do the things that I know that I shouldn't do when I know that I shouldn't do them. And he repeats this, almost this merry-go-round of what life is like. Been there, done that. But he gets to that point where anybody else would have just given up. I mean, he writes this sentence after sentence. He would have given up. You and I would have given up, most likely, if you were going through that process in your mind. It would force you to give up. But he doesn't. And he gives us the celebration in Romans 8:1 that says, but now, no matter how much I've done wrong, no matter how many times I've tried, no matter how many times I've fallen down, no matter how many times I've failed to do what I wanted to do or said I would do, there's no condemnation in the relationship with God. And so no condemnation means you can get back up today. And that's what journaling does. It gives you that inspiration, that motivation, that encouragement, that empowerment to get up again and keep going, illuminating your steps one step at a time towards the goal, towards the relationship, towards a circumstance, towards whatever you want to really see a life lived abundantly. It's not a fairy tale, but it's a method and a process that will help you live your life forward instead of stuck, or worse, in the past. Have you been there? You've either been stuck in today and all the minutia of the same old, or you're stuck in the past. My mom said this, my dad didn't do that, the boss was this, I could have gone to college, Stuck in the past or stuck in the present is the worst place to be, because God designed you and I to live forward, to soar on wings of eagles, to rise and not fall, to go to the top and never the bottom. Those are all the promises of God from the scriptures, especially Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14. So take today, commit to something. Commit today to begin to journal your life. Journal your life because your life matters. Journal your life and give your life an illumination step by step towards the direction of your goals, your hopes, your desires. And I promise you, your life will change, your life will alter, it'll illuminate, but it only will happen one day at a time, little by little. And so often, what happens is those days compile one after another, in a week, in a month, in a quarter, and a year. And you've had the best year ever you could ever imagine. That's what's in store for you. But journaling is so important. It is so important. So I'm not going to review with you over and over again. I'm going to just lay this out there for you and challenge you. It's time to map your life. and to illuminate it with the ability of hearing the voice within, putting it on paper, so that in the evening, after the morning and the 12 hours of the day, in the evening, again, you review it and you kind of refresh and renew for no condemnation. I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do this. No. Just a reminder. And as you go to bed, then that premise of reminder, just like the spelling words, continue to remind you, you're precious, you're wonderful, you're going to achieve, get up, never quit. Whatever those words that God speaks to you, remind you all through the night. And then when you wake up, one more review when you're ready to start your meditation. A quick review to snapshot yesterday and move forward into today. That's journaling. And I really challenge you to start your journaling and start your life living forward. And Christine, I do agree, Isaiah 40:31 is precious. It is precious. Soaring on wings of eagles, running and never getting tired, and just getting up no matter where you need to get to. Living forward, Pam, you're absolutely right. We need to live forward and must never look back. Philippians talks about that, doesn't it? It says in chapter 3, verse 12, forget what's behind you. Strive to that goal that's ahead. Forget what's behind you an hour, yesterday, a year ago, or a decade or more ago. It's so important to know that. And all of you out there now, remember this. Other people need this message too. So share this with them. Give us the continual thumbs up. Remember that I've given you some links to my blog. You go on my Jeffrey Paul blog, you can go to the Inspiration and see multiple inspirations of lessons and teachings that I hope will bless you and continue to give you that reminder. My YouTube, which is there too, you can go to and watch all of these back over a year, almost a year and a half of inspirational mornings. And all kinds of other things that are available for you for free, just for free, to just live your life abundantly like God wants you to live. Share this. Have a beautiful day. Let's go make a difference and live forward.